Welcome to the Perfect Match Wrap Up, where today we'll be talking about season 2, episodes 4 through 6 of this messy show, Perfect Match. I am here with someone who can never be described as a fun sponge, Kirsten MacInnis. Kirsten, how's it going? How are you?
I mean, I'm doing better now that I've been told I'm not a fun sponge. I was having some concerns about that. Yeah,
You're the fun that we dip the sponge into. That's what you are the fun. I don't
thank
know if that
you.
sounded right. I don't know if that sounded right now that I said it out loud,
No, I'm
but
taking it as the compliment you intended it and
yes.
not reading into anything further because
Yeah,
we don't need to
we
do
don't, yeah,
that.
let's not.
um yeah, I'm doing great. I'm excited after watching 3 more episodes of the show. I feel like this season is so much messier than last season, which is really fun. What about you? What do you think?
I'm enjoying it. I feel like after these 6 episodes, again, I have a much better handle on the
Mhm.
personalities and some of the couples that are coming together. So I do enjoy the fact that we've gotten to know people more, and that there actually is some history with these people that we can rely on. And I do like the people that are coming in. So all in all, I feel like this 4 through 6 is a better like sampling than 1 through 3.
Agree. I wonder if they did 6 episodes at once on purpose because the second, like, 3 episodes were the stronger and they wanted to get people really hooked.
I think they did this with Love Is Blind too, where we were just like, it feels like it was a slow beginning of the season, so they really wanted to give us the first like
Yeah.
majority of the seasons to be like, okay, please don't go away from the screen. Like it's actually it's getting good. So I feel like this may be Netflix's strategy moving forward, which I don't really love. I do enjoy the 3 to 4 episode batches at a time.
I Yeah, I think 3 to 4 is good at a time. The 6, if it's at the beginning, though, is kinda nice to really get to know all the personalities. So I don't
Mhm.
hate it, but as if we could ever predict what Netflix will do. Like, they'll probably
Sure.
drop the next season of Too Hot to Handle, just like, boom, 10 episodes all
I
on
feel
one
like
day. Who
I,
knows?
I feel like by the end of the perfect match will be like, and by the way, the next season of the Ultimatum is coming out next week. I feel like they just drop seasons of shows
Mhm.
just randomly, like without any notice.
Yeah, I am extremely concerned that Too Hot to Handle is going to drop, like, immediately after this because it's going to have, like, the momentum of a beach
Yeah.
dating show, and they'll want to maybe compete with Love Island USA and UK that are gonna both be on, so
I could definitely see that. I can definitely see
I'm
them
worried
like,
about my sleep.
yeah, I can see them scrambling for just to arrange a too hot to handle cast. We're like, let's get one shot within a couple weeks, and we can release it the next week.
Yeah,
I just feel like that would be their game plan here. They don't want to lose their audience.
so
Uh,
true.
so yeah, we're back, episodes 4 through 6. When we left off last time, we were kind of in the middle of some matching going on. We still had a couple of matches that we needed to find out who's going to match with who. We had, who do we have left? We had Zan, Dominique left. We had Alara
Xanthi,
left, Dom.
Dominica, Lara, Dom, and
There's yes, and
Steven.
Steven. So there were definitely some people up in the air. We didn't know who was going to go home. We didn't know who was going to match with who. So now we're getting kind of the continuation with all of that. We get this conversation between Chris. Chris really wants to talk to Zan and Dominique together.
No. I literally, like, I am not someone who enjoys watching, like, awkward comedy or anything like that because it just makes me feel like I wanna rip off my skin, and I was like, "No, don't do what are you doing? What are you doing?"
Kirsten, I'm the complete opposite. I love secondhand cringe. I love secondhand embarrassment. So I was eating this up so hard. He goes to them. He's like, "Listen, ladies, I got bad news. I feel like I really need to match with Elise right now, and that's just kind of where I'm at." Dominique, first of all, who's currently matched with Chris, is
Yeah.
like, okay, first of all, why is Zan here? Because she has nothing to do with this. Second of all, I don't really care. I don't like you that much anyway, so be about your way. And it was
No,
just really awkward.
I loved it. And Xanthi was sitting in the middle of
Yeah.
Dominique and Chris for some reason as well, and she's like, "I don't understand why I'm here, like, I'm matched with Steven, I wanna keep being matched with Steven,
Mhm.
like, I don't know." And Chris is just like, "Yeah, I know it's just such a dick move for me to match with Elise, and I'm really sorry." And it's just like, "Read the room, my
It's like,
guy. Nobody cares."
okay, boy, bye. See ya later. Don't let the door
I
hit you
and
on the
I
way out.
I liked it that Zan called out how awkward it was before she left. She was like, anyways, this is awkward, so I'm leaving.
This is weird. So next up we get a Dom and Alara chat. Now this Dom and Alara epic story is really starting to unfold. He says he really, Alara says she likes Steven, who she's currently matched with, but Dom is really her type: tall, dark, and handsome, and someone that can dress. Sorry, but not sorry to Steven. So Dom and Alara they small talk. They talk about being from London. Dom wants to go to London. Blah blah blah.
They talk about Harry Potter for a long time, which is
A
so
long time.
cringe.
What
I need
house
to
are
look
you
up
in? What's your
No.
house? Like, no, come on.
What's your Slytherin has Voldemort. What are we doing?
Just the most
in
outdated
2024?
conversation. We don't even talk about Harry Potter anymore. Harry Potter is on the banned list. Okay, we don't even talk about that anymore.
We burn those books.
We burned all the books. Dom tells Alara, listen, I really want to explore new people. Make sure you want to I really want to explore new people and see how
Stop, you're too good at this.
Alara tells Dom she says she's really attracted to Dom, and it really seems like he does want to match with her, so she's going to keep her options open and consider Dom as a choice.
Well, and she says if it was girls' pick, she would pick him.
Yeah, which
or is that a later conversation?
I think that maybe later. I'm not.
That was later. Sorry,
it may have actually been earlier. I think it was earlier. Actually, I think it was last time when the boys had power.
Oh,
and she was like, if it was my choice, I'd match with you. That was when she was desperate to stay in the house. So she was like, if I was matching with you, I would match with you now. Why would you match with me? So I do think that was in one.
No, I think that's this same matching because they left us in the middle of all the people matching up.
And Alara's new. Yeah,
and Alara's because Alara's not actually matched with Steven. They just went on a date at this point.
Yes.
Yeah. So I at some point during this mingling,
it might have been this conversation we're talking about right now. She may have said it. So we get to Steven. Kaz and Steven are talking, and Steven says, he feels like he's really kind of stuck between two options, Zan and Alara. He does see Dom talking to Alara, and he kind of freaks out like in the moment and literally sprints over to Alara's like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? I was really feeling some Bachelor vibes when it's like, which I don't even watch Bachelor, but I know a thing of Bachelors like, hey, can I grab you for a sec? Hey, can we talk for a sec? Hey, can I pull you over for a sec? Like I really can
I steal you for a second?
Yeah, can I stay for a sec?
But I love it though because it's even more frantic than that because Steven runs over and he's like, have you matched yet? Have you matched yet? And she's like, no. And he's like, give me 30 seconds.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Do not move.
I just need to go reject Xanthi real quick.
I just need to reject Xanthi outright and I'll be back. Listen, I respect it because I don't think someone like a Harry would even bother to do this kind of a care for his match. He would just match outright with this person, be like, and not even talk to the person he was matched with.
I agree. I actually did think that it was a very good move. Like, I think this batch made me like Steven, which
that's what I was about to say.
Would happen.
Spoiler alert for my opinions, but by the end of this, I kind of really like Steven. I haven't seen his first show, but it was just like, I'm really kind of digging this guy.
And like, it's also really hard to judge someone's character from being on Handle, except for like to negatively judge because they got cast onto Handle.
Yeah, I mean that right there should give you some sort of judgment call right there that you're just on the show.
Exactly.
So Steven grabs Anthony. He's like, hey, what's up? He's like, I really just wanted to tell you, I really want to respect you. I really want to tell you that I had a great date with Alara. And honestly, my biggest urge was to kiss her. That's exactly what your, current partner wants to hear.
That feels great.
Yeah, just he really wanted to kiss Alara. This obviously does not excite Xanthi, but she kind of wears it. She wears her proud. She's like, listen, all right, fine. Like, I don't want to be fighting with someone that doesn't want me. You go right ahead. Hope it works out for you. Whether you want, like, go on ahead.
I loved that Steven's like, I want to match with Alara so I can compare the two of you and figure out who I like better because it wouldn't be fair, we've been sleeping in the bed together, but I really need to sleep in the bed with Alara to know if we're on the same page. And I really I do think that Steven likes Xanthi, but again, Xanthi wasn't really ready for like the physical aspects of a love show, and I do think that really put her at a disadvantage and is a big contributing factor as to why they are not together anymore. Because he also asked Kaz for a date as well gets exposed in
Mhm.
this, that he had asked for it. So it's like, yeah, he was done with Xanthi before the date.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's Steven's not here for someone that's not going to, give a little something, something. So he wants Alara. He tells Anne, so sorry. I'm amazed. He was like, you're such a nice girl, but I just think, it's not. It's you. It's me. It's not you. Like I'm surprised he didn't go that route.
Yeah, that might be just a little bit too cliched. Didn't you know
Yeah.
he's alternative? He has tattoos.
Oh yeah, he's a cool guy. He has tattoos. Um, so Dom and Alara are chatting again. Alara's like, well, Alara sees Steven and Zan, and she's like, well, I guess she's choosing her, so let me go to my other choice. So they're
Yep.
she's this is where she's kind of egging him on to pick her over Tolu. So this is where she's like, if I was you, I would pick me. In a confessional,
Yeah.
Dom says, in moments like this, I really hate who I am. I don't really want to hurt Tolu, but I want to be respectful to her. But I'm really digging Alara. Steven comes and grabs Alara again, and it's just kind of like a tug of war with Alara between
Yeah.
Dom and Steven at this point. And now it's Dom's turn to freak out because Steven is talking to Alara, and Steven's really kind of upfront with Alara. He says, "Listen, I liked you from the first moment I saw you. I know I have choices. I don't want backups. I want you because I think you are my perfect match." And they kiss, and it's I think we were probably there 30 seconds too long. I was like, okay,
Yep.
you can go away from this moment now. I'm ready to be gone from here.
It got intimate, and we were there for every part of that. But yeah, and it just goes to show, like, Steven said what he wanted. He let down his partner before he matched with a new partner, and he just went in being like, I want to be with you. Like, let's make it work.
I think
People
Steven,
respect that.
yeah, Steven is like an A- for me for how he executed this. I think he could have spoken a little better to Xanthi in the rejection, but I think for the most part, he did this the right way.
Yeah, I mean, the alternative is what? He could have pulled Xanthi and Tolu and been like, just so you guys know,
Not
I'm
to be a
picking
dick or
Alara.
anything. Yeah. So I know this doesn't matter to you at all, but I just wanted to tell you I'm really into Alara.
Yeah, just
Uh,
wanted you to know you're safe with Dom because I'm taking
right.
Alara.
So he asks Alara to be his match, and she does agree. So they are the third match of the night. Dom is pretty bummed. He's like, oh, yeah, next time I really gotta make sure I shoot my shot with Alara, in time. So at this point, Dom's like, guess there's nothing else for me to do
Yeah.
but go to my old faithful. So Tolu approaches Dom, who Dom had told her like let's have some space and let's talk to the people. Tolu, I think kind of comes over and just like, all right, what's up? I gave you your space. So what's your choice? I think she can. Well, she does. She can kind of tell that it's not going well at
Yeah.
this point. She's like, I know you were talking to someone else. And now that they're matched, what's up? So Dom does say, I had a good talk with Alara. But I know you're sweet and genuine, and we do have a connection.
Ugh.
Uh, and he kind of reluctantly is like, so like, I don't know, you want to match? She's like, she
Here we
does
go.
agree. So I think they're our last match of the night.
Yeah, they match up, and she's like, "Yeah, I feel like we had such a strong connection. I want to see where it goes." And this is the problem too, because when Dom came on the date with Tolu, he really was trying to get into the house and stay in the house, and then
Mhm.
he switched his energy up on her, which is really not cool, but definitely expected from Dom. And so yeah, they match, and then Xanthi and Dominique leave together.
Yeah, I like Xanthi's like departing words. She's like, that's my fault for choosing a bad boy, but I will not lower my standards. Her standards. She says her standards are quite high, so she's not going to lower them for this show.
Well, but
Um,
like as if she had a choice to lower her stand, like, girl, no one picked you. You got dumped. Like, this
right.
is her acting like she quit, but she got fired.
Yeah. Dominique is kind of left with a whimper. Like I feel like we didn't really get like a big
Mhm.
moment from Dominique leaving. She says she is bummed. She feels like she's leaving like a bad bitch, and she will not compromise just to
Mhm.
have a man next to her. So I feel like the departures of Zan and Dominique were pretty
Yes.
good.
And
Um,
I think Dominique makes more sense in the context. She posted a TikTok about, like, the arguments that she was
yeah.
getting into with Brighton, and her account is that there was maybe some misogyny and some homophobia coming from Brighton, and that's what they were really fighting about. But they obviously, Netflix didn't show those arguments, so it made it look like it was about kind of more minor things. So that, especially when she talks about she's not going to compromise herself just to have a man, like I feel like it really makes a lot of sense in that context.
And I mean, that argument they were having about quote unquote yoga did not even seem like it was an argument that would have like stirred the whole house. So that definitely makes a whole lot of
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
Look at you taking the banner from Asia of our TikTok
Oh,
representation.
someone tagged me in a tweet. I I didn't I wouldn't have seen it otherwise.
So we do get a remark from Elise before the night is completely over. Let's remember Elise is matched with Chris pretty much solely. It's like a friend match. She's like, listen,
It's
I
for spite.
yeah, she's like, I'm pissed off. She says, if I get control, I'm definitely trying to split up Jess and Harry. And throughout the rest of these episodes, Elise has it in for Harry big time. And we'll also see that as we get into our next compatibility challenge. But before that, we get a little bit of we get a little bit of Jess and Harry the morning before. She says, I feel like the girls are accepting me, but I feel like me picking you might have hurt me in their eyes a little bit. I'm like, yeah, do you think so? And
Yeah,
Harry
I'm
was
really liking Jessica so far. She seems like such a star.
yeah, Harry says, I mean, that's great. You're listening to your own mind. You're not listening to those other people. And so in confession, he said, listen, I want Jessica a perfect match. I feel like she's perfect. I can see no flaws in her. He says, I feel like no matter what, no one is going to break us up. I did like his moment when he
Right.
comes out to the kitchen in that morning because he and Jess went to bed before all the matches were done. And he's just so shocked to see that Elise is still there. He's like, oh God, I
I
didn't think I had to deal with this anymore.
I loved it. He's like so upset that he has to face the consequences of his shitty behavior, and she's right there, and she is spiteful. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe she had on Too Hot to Handle as well. It's like kind of jogging my memory a bit, seeing her on the show more. So
Yeah,
listen, she's messy.
Elise was a slow start for me, but I'm really liking Elise throughout these episodes. She says, I don't care if he is 6'5", I will fight him. I was like,
Yeah,
yes, bring it on.
I loved
Uh,
it.
yes, so we do get our next compatibility challenge called Truth Bombs. It's basically kind of like a who said this or who does this subscribe to. Was there
Yes.
anything that right off the bat that really kind of stuck out to you about these things? Basically, Nick says a fact about someone and the contestants have to guess who it is.
Well, they kept using the one about having a cage to put women in, like, in the
Mhm.
promo.
Yeah.
And so that I didn't like just the explanation we got from Steven on that one, saying like, "Oh no, it was my dog's kennel and women would just crawl into it all the time." Like, I don't the facts are not facting here.
Yeah. I did like the reveal of Axel Stone from Chris, which is going to kind of come into play the rest of
Yeah,
the episodes. Well, that was
he
interesting.
was a stripper when he was in his early 20s. I was horrified to hear that Alara loves to sniff underwear.
Yeah, that was. I feel like she's right at home with Steven, who just seems like he always has like underwear he hasn't changed in like 3 days. So I feel like they might be the perfect match.
Honestly, I can't wait for the wedding. But again, like this, like so many of these challenges, the information that comes out is stuff that you could not waterboard out of me if it was true about me. So
Right.
I'm just always surprised at how forthcoming these people are in like their pre-game questionnaires.
Yeah. Do we want to take a stab at who the multi-platinum pop star is that Steven hooked up with?
Okay, I'm so curious. I'm
Mhm.
so curious.
A
I want to
multi-platinum pop star, by the way, which is like that's big.
okay, I need to confirm that I know who's multi-platinum.
I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
Taylor Swift.
My guess is Ariana Grande.
That I think that's perfect. I mean, Steven gets confused with Pete Davidson all the time, as he tells us. So I think that would make a lot of sense.
Well, and wait, where is Steven from again? Where is Steven from? Probably like LA. Yeah, he's in Santa Monica.
Interesting. So yeah, I
I
mean, I
I
think you hit it on the head. I honestly
I
do.
think it's Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. That's great. I
Or
think
at
we should
least
all
I
take
hope. I don't know if I hope it is. I don't know if I have any hope for who Steven's had sex with in the past. It
I
seems
don't
like
think
it's
we're
a lot
gonna.
of
I don't
people.
think we're going to go to sleep at night wondering who's Devin hooked up with. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be staying with us for a while.
I mean, that could be a really great way to fall asleep is trying to count all of the like Netflix reality people that Stefan and
Yeah,
Harry have hooked up with.
gosh, just do the cross section spreadsheet of like where their overlap is. Like someone
It
out
seems like
there
it's a
do the work.
circle,
Someone
Jason.
out there do the work for us.
Yes, please.
Some intrepid fan knock it out of the park for us and share it with us, please. Um, we also got, Harry has been offered $40,000 to have. Harry is a money guy. He was offered $40,000 to have sex with someone's wife. He made $100,000 on OnlyFans in 24 hours.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I really don't.
He's a special guy, obviously, and people are interested in what he has to offer. I don't personally know what that is because I have not sought out any of his OnlyFans content, so I can't even
Sure,
begin to tell you what it
Kirsten.
is.
Sure, yeah, I got yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah, you caught me. I am a
Gotcha.
what's the top tier of subscriber you can be on OnlyFans?
You're not gonna catch me by knowing that, okay? You're not gonna get me like that, Christian.
Damn,
All right?
I almost
Yeah,
got
you
you.
almost had me. Um, I was a little like squinting my eyes, and they were like, "Whose secret talent is breakdance?" And of course, everyone guesses Dom and Kaz. I was like, "Okay, great, like awesome."
And then Dom doesn't help by it being him.
Yeah, it's like, oh well, you were kind of right to be like stereotyping, but just because you're right doesn't mean you're right. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it was still wrong of them to do that unless like some of them actually knew that it was Dom.
possibly,
But the
possibly.
one anyone who guessed Kaz, I'm making some major side eye at you.
Yeah. So throughout this whole thing, who gets eliminated first? Because Kaz and Micah
Oh,
got eliminated first, I think, right?
yeah,
Because they
so
were
it
the
goes
last winners of the challenge.
Kaz and Micah first, then Harry and Jessica, then Elise and Chris, and then it's between Tulu and Dom and Steven and Alara, and then Tulu and Dom win.
Yeah, showing that these compatibility challenges mean nothing about compatibility. Like if you need any other proof that it didn't matter about compatibility whatsoever, here it is
Well,
for you.
and this challenge as well was like a coconut chop challenge. So everyone was just
Right.
targeting the people that they thought were strong couples and or the people that they just didn't want in the boardroom, which is so silly because Kaz and Micah were doing horrible in the challenge. Like,
Mhm.
why would you eliminate someone who's doing better than you? Why are you eliminating the bottom of the pack?
Yeah, we also see more of Elisa's white hot rage about Harry. she's like consistently after him the whole time. So we get the Dom and Tulu date. They go to this house, this kitchen, where they're getting a
Yeah.
cooking lesson, which was interesting. They make a lot of different foods. They pop champagne. Dom was really working himself into a sweat this whole thing. I was like, I don't know if I want this food because I feel like you've really just sweat in it because he was soaking wet with sweat by the end of it.
I get the vibe that I think Dom is probably often like covered in like he seems like a sweaty guy to me just in general.
Possibly. I can't see how because he seems to wear clothes that are very like ventilation heavy. Like he rarely has full clothes on. So
Well,
that
yeah,
is
but
weird.
then like on TikTok, like he wears I feel like a lot of clothes all the
No,
time.
so maybe it's
Just like
always hot.
maybe it's just off cuz he's on the beach.
Could be, could be. So basically, this is a time for Tolu thinks this is going to be some romantic date where they can get to know each other better. For Dom, this is all about trying to encourage her to move on from him, so he can
Oh
take
my
some of the
god.
blame off himself. It's like, do you think you'll want to like explore other people at this point? And she's like, oh no, I'm feeling pretty good about us. I feel like we've got good chemistry. We just won the challenge. He's like, yeah, but don't you think maybe we should just go out there and see what else is out there? But
He
it was crazy. And Tolu at this point, she clocks it. She says it's giving personality shift a 180. She says she feels played and fooled because he came into this on their first date with high energy, ready to see what was between them, but now he has totally just flipped the script and he just is not into her whatsoever.
and at least she can tell now so that she can move on while the women are about to have the power because Dom did her very dirty.
He did. He did. He obviously got with her to stay in the house and then see what else was out there.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of is not really hiding that at this point, no matter
No.
how Tolu feels about it and her feelings.
And
Uh,
meanwhile, while they're on, like, the actual date, which was
yeah.
just, like, cooking and not, like, the best date because they got into a fight, Steven is, like, planning a date night and cooking, like, a home-cooked meal for Alara, and it was super cute, and the food actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, this was the moment I was like, "Oh, wow, I kinda like Steven." Steven is obviously kinda head over heels for Alara at this
Yeah.
point. They're having, like, kinda real conversation. He's like, "Listen, and in confessional, Laura says even though there is something here with Steven, she still wants to explore with Dom, but she's really feeling Steven at this point. Steven tells her he doesn't want to waste his time. He says if it's to be if it's to be between them, he is there for it, and they have another just really hot and steamy
Long
makeout
kiss.
sesh, long, very long, and
Literally,
involved.
like, they might as well have been, like, in the backseat of a car at, like, a lookout point for how much they've been necking in
if
these
they didn't
episodes.
have if they didn't eat the same foods and Steven cooked it, he probably would have been tasting whatever dinner she had at that point. Let's just say that it was
Mm.
very involved.
Yeah,
Very
there was a
involved.
lot.
Yeah.
Um, and also while they're away, this is when Chris exposes that he's interested in Toulouse.
Yeah, I thought that was
It was
interesting.
new.
I was like, where did this come from? I feel like I don't even know that Chris knew that Tolu was even in the house before this point. So for him to clock someone who now he obviously everyone in the house knows that Dom and Tolu are probably not going to stick together. For him to just kind of stake his claim in this way to be like, yeah, I like Tolu now. If in case anyone was
Yeah.
needed to know, before we get into all the mingling, I do like her.
Yeah, well, I also like it's because obviously he's in a friendship couple with Elise. He does
Yeah.
not have hope that Elise is going to extend him the same courtesy that he's extended to her. So he's like, "How do I stay while the women are in power?"
Listen, give him some credit for
Toulouse.
give him some credit for looking ahead, okay? Because
That's
he's just like
strategic.
I know my time is almost up, and I have to I have to come up with something off the fly. So, props to him for being for being having some forethought here. So we get to the Dom and Tolu boardroom after, of course, Nick comes in as he must and explains the game. He says your options here. We want to have Justin from Surviving Paradise, Nigel from Too Hot to Handle,
Mhm.
Trevor from Love is Blind, and Jake from Ultimatum.
And okay, I watched The Ultimatum season 1 when it came
Okay.
out. But I
Mhm.
was sick with COVID when I watched it, so it was, like, very hazy, but I recall Jake as being, like, a demon man? Like, was
Um,
he, like, a nice guy on The Ultimatum?
I think he was I think he was probably the nicest guy on the Ultimatum.
Okay, I must be
Now,
thinking of one of the other men on this season then who was I don't
yeah,
know. That's my
it's a
bad.
low bar to clear to be one of the best guys on the Ultimatum, but he
Yeah.
was that. He was the one that he had like two people that were after him. He had his person that he came with, and he really hit it off with the person that he matched with, in the whole
Mhm.
process. And by the end, I mean, spoiler alert for the first season of Ultimatum, he did choose to go with the person that he did not come with. So, and that was kind of like that might be one of the only people that have done that in the history
Yeah,
of the Ultimatum.
but then I thought they had, like, a really weird breakup and there was, like, some mess there.
There could have been.
I don't know. It's
I'm
been
not
literally
in
years since
I'm
that
not in the
happened.
TikTok streets. I'm not the Asia of this podcast. I'm not in the TikTok streets. So
Ugh,
I don't
where is
quite
she?
remember where they ended. But from what I remember from the show, Jake was a really sought after guy on
Okay,
the
okay.
show. Um,
Well, he's got so many women in his DMs.
he's just flooded with DMs. Trevor from Love is Blind is very interesting because in between him getting off his show and the show airing, it was found out that Trevor was actually in a relationship when he went on Love is Blind, actually like literally engaged to someone when he went on Love is Blind, and
Oh,
that was found out after he went on this show. So that in
so
that
what
timeline, yeah.
so he's from the most recent Love is Blind then, just like
Yes.
Jessica and
He was
okay.
he was Chelsea's other option.
And there was 2 men on, or wasn't it like every man on that season was like in a relationship or engaged
Pretty
or
much,
something?
pretty much.
Yeah.
A
Oof.
lot of them were. So Trevor's up.
Yikes.
It's interesting because from Love Is Blind so far, well, we have 2 people that were in the main couples, and then 2 people that were their experience stopped in the pods. So like Trevor
Interesting.
also didn't make it past pods. So it's very interesting that he is an option here. What do you have on Nigel from Too Hot to Handle?
Nigel was like one of the main characters of his season. He was one of the people who went in and was more so like, I don't really care about the too hot to handle rules. Like a robot can't tell me not to hook up. Like he was very H word, like extremely so. And like I'm pretty sure he was happy to jump kind of from person to person. I don't think that he was like
Okay.
dead set on one person. I think he has a little bit of history with Elise from that season.
Interesting. So it might be
Yeah.
perfect for this show if he ever is chosen to be on,
If
which
they get him in.
apparently from the previews that we have for the next batch, it doesn't even matter because everyone's just gonna come in at some point. But we also have Justin from Surviving Paradise. I don't think either one of us watched that show.
Yeah, he was an option, I think, last in one
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
first 3 episodes as well. And yeah, I watched a little bit of Surviving Paradise,
Mhm.
but not the whole thing to know everything about him. But like, he seems like a dude, you know?
Yeah. They explore their options. They begin to speculate on Harry and Jess. She says, she wants to. The sparks are there, but we want to maybe test them. And they say Steven and Alara, they have the chance to explore their connection, so they're out. They seem like they're pretty coupled up. Dom is kind of bummed that Tolu is not really talking about options for herself. He's like, you see anybody you want? Like, go ahead, knock it out. And also, as she talks about Stefan and Laura, like they seem really good. Dom's like, oh, you don't have to rub it in my face.
Yeah, and so he's like, oh no, they're not. Like,
No, she really wants me, don't you know?
they get into like a bit of a fight in the
Mhm.
boardroom.
Yeah, Dom's like, I can tell there's some tension going on, and she's like, yeah, you think because you totally switched up your energy on me. Now you're trying to get me to come with to go with someone else. You were a first guy at the first date. Now you're acting all like grumpy and pissy. And Dom's like, I mean, it just didn't work out. Tolu, what do you want me to tell you? Tolu says she
Which
she
at
feels
this point, he has not actually told her it didn't work out yet. This is
right.
the first time he's telling her that. Like, it's just such an insane way to have like, he could have, last time, he literally should have said, Alara, will you match with me? And then been like, Tulu, I'm so sorry. I matched with Alara. Like, I just really like her. We get along really well. I'm so sorry. And then Tulu would be gone. And
Right.
he would not have to deal with his consequences like Harry does with Elise.
And I mean, justice for Izzy, but Totally was like, listen, I could have stayed with Izzy. He actually kind of liked me. Like, if you're not here for me, like if you're not here to explore something, why are you even here? In a confessional, she says she refuses to be a pawn in any man's game. She's here to find her perfect match, and he's kind of stolen that experience from her. She says, watch out, because karma is a bitch. I mean, hello, foreshadowing.
I loved it. But so then for the dates, they send Elise on a date with Justin, and Tolu goes on a date with Jake.
Yeah, Tolu comes back. No, Dom comes back by himself. He says, listen, Tolu chose to go on a date. Elise, you're going on the other date. The Tolu and Jake date, in confessional, she says Dom was shit in a pretty box. That's what Dom was. I think at this point now we can all agree with that. We do meet Jake and we see his intro package. She says, he and his ex went their separate ways, but his DMs are full. He has no problem getting women, but they have to check all of his boxes for them to get with him. So,
you know what? The people that have no problem getting, dates are definitely the people telling you they have no problem getting dates and then going on a dating TV show,
right, they're definitely the ones desperate to find someone on a reality show. So no problem.
Can we talk about this date?
Yeah, like it's kind of like a gym that has like all wood, like kind of exercise equipment. Like, listen, I'm not someone that gyms like at all, but I thought this looked pretty cool. What do you think of this?
I thought it looked cool, but I thought it was so weird how many opportunities there were to use like another person as your weights. Like the leg press was like built for a person to sit on it. There was also like I think a pull down that they were able to use as well. I've never seen someone leg press somebody on a date before, and then now I've seen both of them do it.
That is a new one. So Tolu, for her part, she likes what she sees in Jake. They bond on the fact that they both live in Houston. Jake talks
Mhm.
about he's been to many different countries. He was in the Marine Corps. He asks her, so what's going on in the house? She says, believe it or not, I match with Dom. And Jake is like, oh, I watched season 1. Dom is here. Dom's in the house. He's shocked that Dom is there.
Yeah.
She does talk about the downfall of their relationship, and she says the fact that she is the one that matched herself on a date. She says her perfect match is someone genuine and who knows what he wants, and they will push each other for greatness. Jake says that's awesome, that's great, but I'm still going to take care of you when you need to be taken care of. Like, okay, I mean they seem to vibe at the date. I thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to go well, but we'll see later what happens.
I think Tolu might be the type of person who can get along with anyone,
Yeah,
which does make it tough to like analyze how well a date is going for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really, I feel like out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, but like, I'd pay for the things you need. Like, I fix your stove if it's broken. Like, I need to eat. Like, very, like, I just felt like he was kind of shoehorning in that he wants, like, maybe not a quote trad wife, but like, trad wife adjacent. Like, I don't know. I was just getting really weird vibes from him, but we didn't see enough of him to like have a strong take on that.
Yeah, we get to the Elise and Justin date. Justin shows up. We get his intro package. He's got, I don't know, the vibe from Justin is just kind of like a dude. Like, I don't think he's really like a himbo like some of the other guys. And I was like, I just feel like he's just a normal guy.
I think he's like one of those like goofy guys. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling he is someone who became very attractive and maybe wasn't always extremely attractive because he talks about having like a fear of rejection. He doesn't like to approach women. Like, he talks about spending $200 on ramen just to like see the cute woman who works there, but he doesn't even like ramen. Like, I just feel
he grew into his
like
hotness.
goofy guy.
Yeah, he grew into his hotness a little bit. Yeah. So they're at
which
a
is
date
the best kind, for the record.
True, I think so. I mean, listen, look at me. I grew into my hotness. I mean,
you and me
take
both.
It from me. Been married for over 10 years.
Wow.
It works, folks. It works.
So wait, when you say over 10 years, is that like, are you in your 10th year or like?
No, I'm in my 12th year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, does he
over
not
10,
remember?
over 10, under 15.
Hey,
it's a range, folks. Yeah. So their date is an ice bath, which I was like, okay, that's interesting. Elise flat out refuses. She's like, I am not getting an ice bath. You're not gonna catch me dead in there. You go for it, buddy. So he gets in the ice bath, and of course, because this is a perfect match, we have to make a joke about shrinkage with the ice bath. So that's just a show we're on, folks.
And it got brought up later too. Like, it's like the foreskin thing last time. Like, I didn't think shrinkage would come up so much.
I was trying to go through the whole podcast without saying foreskin, Kirsten. Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry. Hey, I made it 37 and a half minutes this time versus 3 minutes. So that's growth.
You're improving. Next time, it'll be right as we sign off the podcast. You're like, I hope your foreskin has a great day.
Yeah, by the way, foreskin.
Yeah, foreskin.
But yeah, the ice bath was like, I would not choose to do one, I don't think.
And he gets out of the ice bath and is talking to Elise, and he is still shivering from this. He is ticking from the cold. He's so cold. He's just like shaking.
As a lobster from the cold too. Like, he just is not doing well. And Elise like, yeah, we're gonna pretend I did it, but I will not be doing that.
Right. Good thing, Elise. Good thing. I guess Justin's just nervous. He's the new guy. He wants to participate in everything. So
yeah,
he took the hit. But
on F-Boy Island last season, they had a date that was an ice bath, but they both got into the ice bath together and then had a hot shower together. So it was kind of like
just got out. Was like, he just stays shivering. He just stays cold. Like, he gets no relief from this. Yeah. He's just gonna stay cold. So Elisa again is like, I cannot wait to rub it in Harry's face. How tall Justin is. It's like, damn, Harry is just taking up so much space in Elisa's mind at this point.
And also, it's like, I like pettiness, I like spite, it's good for reality TV, but at one point it was get over it. Like, you have a new little like Ken to be like Barbie and Ken with. Like, you don't need, like, stop thinking about Harry. Like, please move on.
Yes, please. It does you no good to think about Harry one iota. But back at the house, we get the mingling first. Chris says he has no real game plan. He says he doesn't want to go home, so he's going to work his magic. We get Elise showing up with Justin. Micah just takes liking to Justin, so I think he's pretty cute. Tolu arrives with Jake. And of course, because this is like a guy's locker room, the first thing that the guy's like, oh, look at him, he's so short. This is just shorty. Like, look at this guy. It's just like, all right,
Like,
relax.
okay, what's wrong with the short king, first of all?
For sure.
Come
Nothing
on.
wrong at all. Jake in a confessional says, he's willing to talk to anyone that catches his eye. He wants to be here for the long haul.
And like throughout this mingle period, Jake is like interviewing all the women. Like he is talking to everybody one by one, which I thought was very bold. But you know what? You got to play bold if you're coming in late in the game.
I think he got the vibe once the mingling started that Tolu was like not all in on him, so he just kind of had to take his
Yeah.
chances at that point. And of course, we get Nick showing up and says, hey, the power lies to the ladies this evening. 2 guys are going to leave tonight. They play a little truth or dare before the mingling gets started, like rightfully.
I can't believe you don't want to talk about Nick immediately being like, oh, Justin, cold water's not good for the
Oh brother.
guys.
Nick belongs right in there with the men's soccer. I feel like Nick would have been a perfect match contestant if he could have been.
He's no stranger to
Back in
reality
the day,
TV.
Anyway. I gotta say though, I'm liking Nick more and more. I feel like he's growing into his host role. He's not being as terrible. I feel like he's really kind of bantering with the contestants well. I'm liking Nick as a host more and more as we go along.
I feel like he gives like a weird uncle energy, and you know what? That's what this show needs, so it's fine.
Truthfully, yeah. I mean, listen, he's away from his significant other. He's gonna be his dad's self. So let him be. Let him be what he wants to be. This truth or dare game was something.
You know, it was a lot. I also was like, is it even truth or dare? But it it was done in a weird way.
It felt more just dare. Like weren't a whole lot of interesting truths at all. Steven gets dared to put Alara in his 3 favorite sex positions, which he does with enthusiasm and really earns the show its TVMA rating. Let's just say that.
Yeah, he really did that. Chris gets dared Tolu dares Chris to give like the woman he's most attracted to a lap dance. And then Chris says, okay, get on that chair.
I don't think in her wildest dream she thought that she would be the one that he chose for this. She was shocked.
Didn't.
She was so shocked.
Yeah. She was shocked, but you know what? She gets her lap dance. So we got Axel Steel or Strong or whatever.
Stone, I think. Yeah.
Axel Stone. That's right. And then she's like, okay, well, you dared, I dared you. And he's like, okay, well, I dare you to sit on my lap and kiss me. Like, he is shooting his shot.
He's really has the hardcore press going on for Tolu and trying to make his interest known, to stay in this house. So he's really making it completely obvious that he wants to match with Tolu tonight.
Yeah. Good.
And Jake, of course, is annoyed because he just went on a date with Tolu. I think probably at that point, assuming that he and Tolu were going to match. But I think that it's at that point where Jake is like, all right, let me go talk with everyone else because I think this might not work.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what they kind of like split from the truth or dare. And this is where we see like Micah talking to Justin and they seem to get along, which I actually think Micah and Justin would probably be a pretty good match because they both just seem like fairly normal
I think they're both boring. They're like boring homebodies, I think, in their everyday lives, it feels like. So I think you're right. I think they would make like a good boring match. But at this point, Elise is now side-eyeing Micah. She had both of her eyes side-eyeing Harry, and now she's splitting her time side-eyeing both of these people.
She did mention in the first batch being like, why would Micah set up Harry on a date with exactly his type? Not giving anything to Kaz. Like, oh, nothing is Kaz's fault, even though he was there too. They had to both put their hands to make the match.
Yeah.
And now she's like, okay, well, I'm going to talk to Kaz to get back at Micah because she split up me and Harry. And she like tattles on Micah for talking to Justin, but also starts like weirdly hitting on Kaz. It was like extremely strange. It was almost
they
have no vibe.
You're trying to take my man, I'll try to take your man. And just like womp 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 goes like just goes off with sad
Yeah.
music. But
They've like never spoken before.
yeah, this is the time Jake kind of takes his round around the ladies. He talks to Tolu and basically is just like Tolu's like, yeah, it's not probably gonna work. This awkward silences. Tolu's like, listen, I like a man of action, and I don't like the fact that Jake's just waiting for something to go his way. So I don't really think it's for us. Alara pretty much straight up rejects him. And she basically like, well, I've been really enjoying my time with Steven, so I don't think it's gonna work. She's in a confessional. She says she needs a man with some fashion sense, and Jake's top is just a no, which is like a basic black tank top. So she's
It's
like, yeah, it's a no go
it
for
was,
me.
like, pretty regular, like, I it's not like a fashion plate, but it's not like it was, like, some horrible, like, crime
Yeah.
against nature.
Well, like he literally just got off the couch and walked in the perk match house. She's like, I got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Let me go
He's
walk
like,
in this perk
"Oh,
match house. Yeah.
I got picked for a date, I guess I better go." They
Yeah, he's in
did
the
also have a workout date, so it's not like they're in their best
yeah.
clothes.
Yeah, Alara, give him some credit. He came from an activity where he needed to wear that. Okay, uh, Jake and Micah. Jake's like, listen, you're the one that caught my eye after talking to 3 other people. He's like, you're the one. He says he hit it off with Totally, but he wants to keep his options open. Micah says she really follows her heart more than her head. She likes Kaz, but she thinks Kaz might be a little bit of a playboy. She doesn't want to get hurt, so she needs to explore a little bit. This is where we see Micah's insecurities kind of just
Yeah.
popping their head out and like, let's see if we can sabotage ourselves here. This is
A
the start
little
of that.
Yeah, a little self-sabotage is always good. But she and Kaz end up just talking it out. They make up, it's no problem, and then they just match and are, like,
Yeah,
done.
it's like you want a match? Sure, no problem. We then start with the what I like to call the downfall of Dom.
Beautiful to see.
Yeah, Dom wants to talk to Alara. And confessional totally like, you go right ahead, boy, because I'm ready to clock out of this connection. We see Stefan kind of sweating a little because he knows that Alara does like Dom. He says, it's crazy, it's annoying that I really can't control things this round, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Dom tells
Yeah.
Alara they have a lot of interest together. They click. They both like fashion. They both like Harry Potter. He does. I don't want to hurt Tolu, but there is a lot of time left, and for once, I want to be selfish. Oh,
For the first
our
time in his life,
hero,
he's gonna be selfish
our hero
because he's
Dom.
certainly never done that before.
Yeah, he's always doing things
Um,
for everyone else.
when he is talking to Alara, I think he, like, went way overboard because he's like, "I think you're my person." And she's like, I appreciate that. Thanks."
Yeah, I think we got some ick going on with the neediness
Yeah.
of Dom at this point.
It
Um,
it's giving desperate.
Yeah, for sure. So and then Alara and Steven talk, and it's kind of like they get really to like, listen, I want to be with you, you want to be with me. Let's just do this thing. He says he feels good about what they have. He feels like it's real, and she says, listen, no one suits me better than you here, and they agree to match. They are our second match of the night.
Yeah.
Steven says he does think that Alara is his perfect match. And at this
And
point, Dom
Alara
is just
says he treats her like a princess.
yeah. So I mean, hey, what better could you ask for? Dom is upset because he now has to go talk to other people. Dom now wants to ask Elise to talk. He's like, can we talk? And Elise is like, who are you again? Do we know each other? Like, this is the first time you've ever actually talked to me.
Yeah, like, they've literally never spoken, and I feel like he should have done what Chris did when Chris, like, shot his shot and was like, "I like to loo everyone," to, like, give, like, some foreshadowing. At that point, he should have said something like, "Oh, man, yeah, I'm interested in Elise, but I'm just, like, I've been so intimidated by her that I have felt uncomfortable."
Well, I feel like Dom thought that the Alar thing was a sure shot because he shot himself in the foot by just totally distancing himself from Tolu in the
Mhm.
first place because he felt like he and Alar were going to match for sure this round. So I think he put all his eggs in that basket, and now he got no more eggs left. So he's searching the ground for abandoned eggs. So he talks to Elise. He's like, "Listen, how about you and me?" And she's like, when I first got here, I thought you were really hot. But the whole thing with Harry makes it kind of weird because you're his friend and me and him are beefing. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. Not you can tell Dom is like, what? You don't me? You're rejecting me? You can just tell he's shocked. It kind of comes out of nowhere. He's like, wow, okay, sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's again like all of these like super attractive people come on these shows, and probably a lot of them have never been rejected before, and so
Yeah,
when they have to face it, that's tough. Like nobody likes being rejected. Like it's a hard pill to swallow, but
yeah,
he made his bed, so
for
that's
sure.
his
Yeah.
fault.
Chris and Tolu talk. Tolu is surprised that Chris is showing interest. She says she never thought it would come from him. He says he
Mhm.
really likes he likes her personality and her energy. He wants a real connection. He's feeling that with her. She said, "Well, at least you're putting an effort, unlike some other people. So sure, let's match." So Tolu and Chris match.
And like they match, and it's very much like, okay, let's get to know each other. And then in like 5 minutes, it's gonna be like, wow, I've never had like a friendship turn into a romance. I was like, dude, calm down,
Yeah,
romance. Like it's been a minute and a half.
for sure. Justin and Elise, they just kind of passively match. It's just like, yeah, just kind of natural. Let's just match. That there's like, yeah, sure, why not?
I
Dom,
liked that he asked her though. Like even though it
yeah,
was like women in
oh
power, I
yeah,
liked that he was like, okay, well, should we match? Like I thought that was cute.
yeah. I like Justin. He's not problematic so far. I'm liking him.
Yeah.
Um, Dom
He is, I mean,
is
he's from Boston, Jason.
what does that mean, Kristen?
It could be a problem.
Wow, okay. Sorry, Boston, you got astray here today. Jeez. I like you, Boston. I don't know. I don't
It's
see anything wrong with you.
listen, I don't have anything against Boston, but I feel like a lot of times these Boston men, it turns out to be a red flag. So
Wow.
I'm alert.
Just shading a whole city. Wow.
Sorry, Boston.
Sorry, not sorry. Dom, for his part, is extremely butthurt that things are not working out for him. He starts to lash out at everybody around him. He's
Yeah.
like, "Listen, I'm here for the right reasons, and some of us are I just
No.
question their intention." Like, and he literally like points at Harry, and it's like, I'm just questioning why you're here." And this sends Jess's alarm bells off.
Yeah.
She's like, "Why would your friend be saying that about you?" I felt like she took this a little too far. She's like, "Why would Dom say that about you?" Because Dom is butthurt and he's just lashing out at everyone.
Yeah,
That's
well,
why.
I think it's also like she's been warned about Harry a million times and she's
Mhm.
chosen to disregard that. But then when his own friend is like being like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah.
That I do understand why that would raise alarm bells. This did also happen like a breath after Dom said that trying to be a good guy did not work
Oh
out for
boy.
him. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, just like all the best guys have to tell you how good they are. That's
Yes.
definitely how it works, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I also think everyone's extremely drunk, which
Yeah.
escalates the situation so unnecessarily. And Harry's like, "Oh, my friends are just gonna say stupid shit. My girl should just talk to me." And it's like, she is talking to you right now. Like, what do you mean? And then I feel like he acts like she is just totally attacking him and shutting him down when
Mhm.
she's literally just like, "Well, like, why did he say that? Like, huh?" And I feel like he malfunctions the second someone doesn't believe everything he says. He just like
Mhm.
totally shuts down and becomes a victim because I thought this was such gross behavior from Harry in this situation.
So he really pouts. He's like, why are you not believing me? Why are you questioning me? Because of every single thing you've ever done in your life has been publicized and you are a obvious creep. And so excuse me for like being aware of that.
Yeah, like it's so ridiculous. In the middle of the fight, Dom and Jake just kind of leave the villa with no
Yeah, like
fanfare.
no fanfare at all. Just like see you later.
Like, they
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
But then Harry's like crying and he's like, "I'm here for Jess and she's the person for me. And for some reason, people want to talk poorly about me." And it's like, because of your actions, Harry, people talk poorly about the things you have done and said. And like, sorry that there's consequences to that. And Jess is
Right.
like, "Oh, can I give you a hug?" And he's like, "No, I've never questioned you. I wish you wouldn't question me." And it's like,
I feel like Harry walked into that room that he and Jess shared and like was looking up, was like, all right, where's my camera? Oh, here it is. And plops down and was like, oh my god, I'm so upset that people are talking about what things I've done and just judging me
yeah,
for all my past
like,
actions. Where's the camera? Oh, oh, I'm so
yeah.
sorry. And Jess for her part, who I think Jess is cool, but I think Jess also really plays into her
Mhm.
image and plays into what people are thinking about her, which is like, oh, Jess, you slayed on that show. You give men what they deserve. You do all this. You do all. You're a great mom. I feel like she really plays into that archetype
But
that
this
people have given her, and she's just
didn't
like,
this
oh
film
wow,
before that came out though?
That I'm not sure about. But I
So
think
that's
yeah.
yeah. It's I don't know. It's interesting for sure.
I think you could tell by like reaction of other people, like even the production and stuff like that, that this was going to be a moment that she's going to be someone on this. She's being asked to be on Perfect Match for a reason.
Exactly.
It's not a coincidence that she didn't even make it past the pods and she's being asked on Perfect Match. I think she knows
Yeah.
just by that, like, oh, I have to like I have to play up to this character. I think that is her, but I think she definitely plays it up.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm so sorry that that I did that to you. Like, are you okay? I think they're both kind of trying to one up each other in a way.
I could see that, but it also just if we're gonna take it on its face and act like
Mhm.
this is a totally real interaction, which like we have our reasons to doubt that.
Yeah.
If it is 100% real, this is like such a toxic spiral
Yes.
where like the
Mhm.
second he is questioned in any way, he becomes a victim and it's now on her to reassure him and make him feel better, even though like she's the one who is like not wronged in this situation, but you could see how that could become a pattern. So I'm just kind of like hoping it's all fake because really
If
don't
not,
want
it
it
would.
to be like this horrible toxic pattern.
Yeah, it would be very troublesome if it wasn't fake. Let's just hope it is. Let's hope
Yeah.
everyone's acting here. They yelled cut. Everybody's like, "Oh, it was a good take, wasn't it?" Yeah. Let's just hope
Yeah,
that that
great
was the
great job.
case. Yeah. Uh,
It's
Go ahead.
No, and that's also where they cut off the episode, where it's like, "I wish you wouldn't question me."
Cliffhanger. But next morning, it's pretty much all forgotten and forgiven. They're like, "Yeah, last night was crazy, right?" Like, yeah,
They're like, "Yeah, that was a horrible night." Harry's
yeah.
like, "Yeah, I was self-sabotaging." And Jessica's like, "No, it's my fault." And then it's like she feels guilty about making him feel bad. I'm just like, "Please be fake."
Yes, please, please, please. They're each trying to make themselves be the better person in this moment. Just like I was so sabotaging. I'm using my therapy words, so I know what these
Oh
are.
god.
Um, so he says, she says she feels guilty for having judged Harry. She does tell him that he is a beautiful crier. So we get our next compatibility challenge, seeing eye to eye. I mean, really just wasn't much to this. It was pretty much a
Yeah.
purely physical challenge. They had
Mhm.
to ferry some balls across the ocean to get in their basket without using their hands. So we had some very creative and colorful ways to get the ball into the basket. Steven and Alara have the do the best job. They have the best like kind of system going
Yeah.
to transport the ball. So they win the whole thing. I did love the Elise Baywatch montage. I thought that was a very fun thing to add into this.
Yes. It was a really interesting way to show a lot of the challenge.
Mhm.
Yeah, like making it look like it was really aged and doing it to the Baywatch theme and all that. I was like, "Oh,
Which I'm
okay."
like, how many of these people have ever actually heard of the
Well,
show Baywatch?
there was the movie though, like just a couple years
Well,
ago with Zac Efron.
who has heard of even the movie remake of Baywatch?
I
That came and
mean,
went so
there's
fast.
there are Zac Efron stans
The
and
Rock
people who
wishes
watched
people would
Big
forget what
Brother
Baywatch.
that year because they
Oh
had a
God, yeah.
competition.
The Rock wishes that people would forget about that Baywatch movie. Let's just put it that way. Uh, so yeah, Steph and Alara win the whole thing.
Yes.
They go on their date. They go to a bar, which like some of these dates are just like the most boring dates. Like just go to a bar and talk a little bit.
No, I love it. On these shows, the best date is when it's like a table with a bottle of champagne and you're like 50 feet away from everyone in the villa. Like they can
Mm.
see you on your like that's like you don't have to do that much for these dates. You could just give them some alcohol and a blanket to sit on. Like
They'll make their own
it's
entertainment.
fine.
Yeah, they'll make their own entertainment. So it's a very like kind of schmoopy date. They're just like they're really into each other. Like they talk about how perfect they are for each other. She says, she would give him a 9.5, and the other 0.5 will come when he gets naked. So a very fun schmoopy date for them.
Yeah,
Um,
they like each other.
yeah, for sure. They're definitely into each other. Back at the house, Jess and Harry, they say, they have this fun little interaction. Like, I really want to go on a date. And she says, I would win in a spelling bee challenge. And he quizzes her a bunch of nonsense words, and she says she's very smart. He's like, what are you geek? I thought that was just a very fun. I feel like I would love more of these kind of interactions just to show how
Mhm.
these people are getting along and what their chemistry is like. Because I feel like with a lot of these couples, we don't see these moments. They're just like, yeah, we really like each other. But like
It's
why?
like, but what about him
Yeah.
do you like? Like name
Yeah.
3 things about him.
Yeah. So I feel like these moments are really important to see about what their
Agreed.
chemistry is and what their connection is.
There's also like everyone hanging out at a table. Like it just seems like they're having a
Mhm.
really good vibe this
Yeah.
evening. And like Justin confesses that he once said the wrong name in bed and he got in trouble. And Mike is like, "Oh yeah, I did that too. I was dating a twin. I said the wrong twin's name." And then she like laughs and is like, "I have a twin fetish," because
Yeah,
she's
she's
of
got a
course like with Gaz now.
yeah, I got a thing for twins. It's something you might need to check out. Something you might need to explore there. So we do get the Alara Steven boardroom. Nick comes in. He gives us the choices. They are all from Too Hot to Handle. So Kristen, you're up. Here you go. We have Holly, Melinda, Brittany, and Christine. What can you tell us about these four
Britain,
ladies?
not Brittany. Her name
I'm
is just
sorry,
Britain.
Britain. Sorry.
So Holly, I think we talked about her last time. Like she was again like one of like the very
Mhm.
promiscuous, like really wants to bend the rules, like kind of main character energy from Too Hot to Handle. Melinda is like a star. Like
Yeah.
she is such a star of the franchise. She was like you saw her like montage of her being like, "Oh, I want to make him jealous. I'm just going to like take off my shirt when we're in
Mhm.
bed," kind of vibes. She was like just a star. Britain, at first I didn't recognize her because she has pink hair now, but she was
Mhm.
blonde on Too Hot to Handle. And I feel like the vibe from Britain was very much like she was down to break the rules, but I feel like she was unlucky in love, is the memory I'm having
Aw.
of her. I should have looked these people up to remind myself, because I've also been having trouble um like Britain, I at least remember because she has a little bit different features. A lot of the people who go on Too Hot to Handle have all the same plastic surgery, and you and like Love Island, like all of like just a lot of people have like the same lip filler, the same like Botox, like, and so it's kind of like melding towards like one face,
They're all
and
looking
it
like
makes it
AI images.
literally it makes it really hard to remember like where people are from or why I know them. Um so that's just a little bit of my struggle for the people listening. So my apologies if that's not your
uh,
favorite thing.
did you have something for Christine? Did you say anything about Christine?
And Christine was on the same season as Elise and Nigel, and she was very like bombshell vibes. But I feel like she got rejected, and it was like really sad.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So nothing like coming on this show to get over your fear of rejection, I guess. I thought it was funny. Steven and Alara just talking trash about the other couples. Like, yeah, none of them are perfect for each other. Like, we really got to switch some stuff up because none of these couples are working as well as we are at this point. Um, so they discuss matching Chris. Laura points out he only picked Tolu because he was going home. So we got to break that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And she says like, "Oh, Melinda was the host of our show and like he
Mhm.
had kind of a crush on her." I Here's what I wanted to happen here. I wanted them to send Harry on a date with Holly so bad. Like, so she's
They have
obviously
history.
his
Yeah.
his type to a T. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, they have history." Which I was like, "Okay, well now I really want to see it." I think it would have been really entertaining.
That would
Um
have been for the funsies for sure.
they also, this really just pissed me off, and I just need to rant for a second. They're like, "A brunette," and they go, "Oh, so Holly," and I'm like, literally 3 of these women are brunettes. Like, like Holly, Melinda, and Christine, all brunettes.
Mhm.
So, like, come on,
Make it make
just
sense.
enough.
They discuss matching. They discuss Kaz. Alara
Yeah.
says, "I feel like he needs someone with a little more energy." Seven says, "Yeah, because Micah is a fun sponge. Kaz has not been the same since he got with Micah."
Oh my
Um,
god.
they then talk about Harry and see if they can match him. Stefan says, "Well, maybe for Harry, we should get someone that's kind of my type because we made some sort of weird pact that if we were ever in this position, we would bring in the someone that matches with our style." I was like, "What? Like, what are you even talking about?"
Yeah, basically, like, we have the same type, so if I see
Yeah,
someone that's my type, I should match him with them.
and Alara's
And
like,
he's
"Oh,
like,
so that's your type? That I'm not your type? That's your type?" He's like, "Well," and then we kind of get a little bit of a cliffhang about who's going to be in the house.
yeah, is this when he says like, "Well, dating not my type has like been working
Yeah,
out,"
yeah.
yeah, so like he did as good a job of clearing that up as he could have probably.
Yeah, they still try and trick us later as Alara returns and she acts like she is returning by herself, as in, Steven chose going on a date with someone else. And I feel like they do this too often now, where it's just like, okay, the joke is over. It's not funny anymore. And of course, Steven says, I've been here the whole time. I'm not going on a date. But
Surprise.
yeah, they do tell the gang that Chris and Kaz are going on dates. Micah and Tolu are pissed and annoyed. So we get the Chris and Melinda date. Now I'm very interested to see what this discussion is. If
Mhm.
it's very, I don't think we've ever really had anything like this in reality TV where you have the option to date the host of the show that you were on. I feel like this is very
Mm,
interesting here.
Didn't Jeff Probst date a contestant?
But that wasn't for show purposes. That was
Yeah,
just
that was
like,
just real life. That was just a real HR concern.
yeah, Jeff was just creeping on one of the people that were employed by him, but well, that's another thing.
um but yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic. I thought it was so cute when they both realized who they were on a date with. It really seemed like they had real chemistry. They get a little seating area with cushions to
Mhm.
drink, and they talk about like he had a crush on her. She had to be professional, but now that they're not on the same show, she was gawking at him the whole time. She keeps up with him on Instagram. Like, it seems like they both actually really like each other.
Yeah, but I feel like it would feel weird to date. It almost feels like you're dating like a parent, like or dating like a boss or a teacher or something. Like it would feel weird to me. Like,
The power dynamic is definitely strange, but I guess it's like, well, dated and related. I don't think it's coming back. He's not
yeah,
going to be
probably
on
not.
it again. Like, it's over, and they are peers now. So hopefully, I don't know. It's a gray
I
area.
think it's just interesting for the show to have Melinda on, and where Netflix is like, I know you hosted one of our shows, but do you want to be like a contestant again? Like, I know
She's
you were a
such a
contestant at
star.
one
They
point. Yeah,
love her. They
I
they would
know.
have wanted her on any show, but she
Yeah,
was in a relationship.
I know that you said I was going to like Melinda, but Melinda's laugh is really getting to me. like,
Wow.
like this laugh
I
is wow.
Melinda is a star. She is, like, I think one of the probably most recognizable people from Too Hot to Handle, period. She's such a main character her season, and I will admit I didn't enjoy her quite as much on this as I
I
did
think
on Too Hot to Handle.
she has a bold personality. I think she's very upfront
Mhm.
with hers, and I like that in a definitely in a personality and a reality TV personality for sure. She's definitely not afraid to say what she is
Yep.
thinking. So I definitely appreciate that about her. It was just a laugh, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, we can relax on that. um, we
Oh,
do we do get the Kaz and Holly date, which is basically they are kind of going to like what I would describe as like a mud bath,
yep.
and it was giving very much like Skinamax vibes. I was like, this is we're getting a little too into into things here.
Yeah, they were just massaging each other with the clay. Really, it was like at first it was a little bit awkward, and then we get a confessional. Kaz being like, "Wow, well, like it's the right thing to do to give this date the full experience, so I better start like massaging Holly's upper thigh."
Yeah, he walks into this like I'm really happy with Micah, and thanks a lot, Steven and Laura. This is how you're paying me for matching you. Like nothing's gonna break me from Micah. And then by the end, she's like, I don't know. I don't know what to do now. By the end of this
Yeah,
like clay bath thing, he's all turned around now.
yeah, he's in his head about it for sure. I also realized on the date, I hadn't noticed until this moment that Kaz has a single dangly cross earring, which is
Oh.
of course the universal identifier of fuckboys. So I should have known.
As I think about it, it makes so much sense, and I
Yeah,
realize
we
for the
see
next
them a lot on Love Island.
yeah, for the next podcast, I need to come in here with a dangly cross earring. I've just
No,
now realized that.
I think Steven might have had one in his first season of Too Hot to Handle, TBH.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Our theory tracks. Our theory holds.
Yeah.
So yes, we get the dates all done. The newbies are on their way to the house.
Yes.
In the before the newbies come in, Tolu is trying to comfort Micah. Micah's really nervous about the fact that Cass could be coming in with someone else. Tolu feels like she's found a genuine connection, but she is a little suspicious about the timing of Chris's interest and thinks maybe I was just a safe option for him not to come. I was like, Ding, ding, ding. Good on you, Tolu, for figuring it out, or someone, maybe suggested to you. I don't know, but good for you for kind of figuring that out. Tolu does say she and Micah are going to go all out tonight to keep their men. They're getting their freakum dresses, their keep your man dresses on. Honestly, it seems like everyone is getting really dressed up for this particular evening because everyone's got quite a stunning outfits on.
And it seems like it's about halfway through the show as well. So I think that's part.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a halfway party, and they just
Somewhere
didn't
in
communicate
here,
that with us.
Yeah, somewhere in here we get 10 days left. So that is about halfway. I think we're at 21. We have 21 days for this. So yeah, we have 10 days left. So Melinda enters the villa, and she's like, oh god, I think I might be in trouble. Like Melinda's in the house, and this might not end well for me. Kaz and Holly show up. She and Micah have kind of matching outfits on, which Micah's like feeds into Micah's insecurity even more.
And Tolu makes a point of being like, why is she wearing the nicer version of Micah's
dress? Ouch. Not helping, Tolu, not helping.
Yeah, and then this is where we get a Harry confessional where he talks about how he had a one-night stand with Holly. Holly ghosted him. Harry says that's the last I ever heard of from her. So I liked that as a power move for Holly. And then she's also hooked up with Steven. And I like it.
We won't say anymore about what Harry said about what Steven.
Listen, I'll say foreskin on the podcast, but I won't say that.
Draw the line. We draw the line at foreskin.
There's a line somewhere, okay?
We were tiptoeing over the line to get to foreskin, and we are not tiptoeing anymore.
And then I like though how it was done with the confessional of Harry spilling all this info, and then Holly being like, "What do these boys say? Yeah. None of it's true."
Kaz
it's like it might be true.
Yeah, who knows? Kaz comes just kind of like he just kisses the side of Micah's head. He's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh, that's the first sign of trouble." You get the side of the head kiss, like, "Hey, buddy." You get the side hug. How's it going?
It's like the Christian side hug. I didn't put that together.
Interesting. Yeah, he does say that he's attracted to shiny things. So I think Holly is starting to raise some flags with Micah here. Nick enters and says, "All right, guys, powers with the men tonight." Melinda's meeting with all the guys. She says the Melinda Chris thing is kind of like an HR violation since she did host this show. I was like, yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, it is weird.
I liked though, like Nick Lachey was being so awkward and not really doing any hosting, and Melinda like stepped into the hosting chair to be like asking Holly what they did on the date and like exactly what, like getting more information, which I thought was great.
You think Nick was a little intimidated by Melinda being there?
I think she's coming for his job.
Yeah, okay. So we get telling Kaz that Micah is draining him, and Melinda can really get his energy up. Kaz is like, listen, Micah's great, but Holly is fun, bubbly, beautiful. So it's like cookies and cream and Neapolitan. There's just two great options. I don't know what to do.
And he doesn't tell us which woman is cookies and cream and which one.
I don't even think he knows. I'm not sure even he knows which one is which.
Do you like both of these ice cream options?
I'm a big cookies and cream person. I am a huge cookies and cream guy. That is my go-to flavor. I don't like strawberry, so Neapolitan is probably out for me.
See, I like cookies and cream a lot. I don't like strawberry ice cream on its own, but like a little bit of strawberry on the spoon with the chocolate and vanilla. It's a good combo to me. So I do like Neapolitan ice cream.
You're complex, Kirsten.
Listen, I've got layers.
Got layers like a Neapolitan has layers.
That's what is it? It's like the John Oliver joke about Neapolitan ice cream. It's like it has something for everyone: vanilla for the borings, chocolate for the chocoholics, and strawberry for the perverts.
Oh my god, I never heard that, but that is awesome. That is
it's one of those things where like my sister and I quote it, and it was from like 10 years ago probably, like, but it just lives in our like lexicon.
Micah and Kaz talk. He said, "Listen, I just got to figure out what my head is." He says, "But listen, hey." I'm leaning towards you, so you should feel great."
Her confidence goes down even further at this because, like, what are you talking about?
These men just suck at talking to women, like in any kind of great, respectful way. They fail every time. It just
the bard is in hell, and they're like, "Let's play limbo. It's fine."
For sure. Kaz keeps talking about how much he likes Holly, but he also likes Micah. Micah says in confessional she does get jealous and insecure sometimes. It feels like he is holding back from her, but maybe she should give him the benefit of the doubt. Holly and Micah talk. Holly says, "Listen, our date went great." They kind of compare notes, and in a confessional, Holly says she knows what she wants. She's here to get it, and so that's what she wants. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
I like
Um,
Melinda like does the circuit also, talking
mhm,
to everyone. And I think she like saw Tulu. They immediately were like, "You're beautiful, you're beautiful." I think she's like, "I want us both to stay. Like, how can we
yeah.
both stay?"
Melinda is doing the round. She says, "Listen, she's talking to Chris. She says, listen, I always get what I want." She talks to all the other guys. She says, "Listen, all these girls seem to be a little scared that I might be coming for their men." I think probably that. I think Melinda has such a like upfront personality that I think
Mhm.
she's kind of outshining all the other women of the house because she's really out there and just talking to everyone
Yeah.
and really just kind of being the life of the party here, which I think is
Yeah.
is not really a vibe that the other anyone else really in the house has.
I do think that that's like an extremely good point as well. Like maybe people wouldn't want to pick her because they don't want her to like suck up all of the screen time and
Mhm.
air from
Yeah.
them. So like I could see that happening. Uh but she talks to everyone. But I was really proud of Chris because Chris
Mhm.
goes to Toulouse and is like, "Oh, I've had a crush on Linda in the past, but like the thing what I feel for you is so real and organic and I really feel like we vibe. Like let's match."
Honestly, I was like, has Chris come on from the side of like, I'm kind of doing this to stay in the house, and then it's like, you know what? I actually kind of like Tolu. Like, they
Yeah.
had a couple nice moments. They had some makeout sessions throughout these
Mhm.
episodes. I think maybe he's like, I actually kind of like her, and I want to see how this keeps vibing.
I
Um,
think they're having fun, and I also think he's seeing Melinda do the rounds and is like, women are
right.
about to have the power. I cannot
Yes.
allow Melinda to have power over
I
my
think
fate."
I think he could see that a Melinda might jump ship rather
Yeah,
quickly, and I think probably all the other guys might see that as well, and see her being the life of the party, being like, she could be my life of the party for this match, but then she could ditch me for the next
yeah,
person on the next match. So I think that's a,
100%.
a reason why what happens.
Yes.
Melinda sees Chris Machitolu and calls him a bitch for leading her on. She says he can kick rocks in Jersey. I was like, okay, all right.
Honestly, good for her. I love that. I love
Mhm.
when people get told to kick rocks.
Yeah, I love it. Who was this that kick rocks with open toed shoes? Was that on Survivor this past season? That was on some
Oh,
reality show this past season.
I'm not sure, but it sounds familiar. Oh, man.
Yeah.
My brain is like a colander at this
No, it was
point,
Love is
like
Blind. I'm sorry. It was Love is Blind. You didn't even see it. It's
okay,
Love is
good, then I
Blind.
haven't seen it, thank
Yeah.
God.
It
I
was
was
Love is
like
Blind.
"Oh, I don't know."
And that guy
Oh,
definitely
phew.
deserved to kick rocks with open toed shoes. That man is one of the villains
Wait, a
of Love is
man
Blind.
said that?
No, a woman said that about a man. He can go kick
Okay,
rocks with
good.
open toed shoes. Yeah.
I like it more when a woman says.
Yeah. I think that's the better of the two. Um, Uh, yeah, Justin is talking. He says he and Elise are getting on great. They have substance. They both have dry humor and sarcasm. Bing, bang, boom.
Sure,
Justin and
boom.
Elise are still matched. We
Stefan
get
goes up to Alara and is just like, "I'm done. Can we match now and go to
let's go.
bed?"
Like I've talked to everyone. I'm talked out. You're my match. Let's just get over with. Let's go. Like
Yeah.
great. I feel like Steven and Alara might be our Joey and Carousel of the season. They seem like they are well
Mhm.
matched, and maybe we'll stay matched for the rest of the season. What do you
I
think
could
the
see it.
projections are there? Yeah.
I could really see it. I feel like they actually really like each other, and they've now had the
Mhm.
most time with each other compared to any of the other couples. Oh, no, except
Well, I don't know
for
about
Kaz
Micah and
and
Kaz.
Micah, which is
To be
we'll
continued.
see what happens with them
Yeah,
because we don't know yet at the end of the episode.
yeah. We didn't
But
get
yeah,
much from
Harry and
Harry
Jessica
and
also match
yeah,
too.
we didn't get much from them at all. Same with Steph and Alara. They don't really talk to anyone else. They're just like, yeah, let's just match. We're done.
Yeah.
Melinda has seen everyone coupled up. They're like, oh, what the hell? Like, what the hell going on here? These guys haven't found their perfect matches. These guys are just on a leash, which I think is interesting because we've seen these couples kind of solidify and oust the outsiders, which is a kind of interesting for this show. I think.
Yeah, and so now we're at the end of the episode.
Mhm.
Holly, Micah, and Melinda are up for elimination. Kaz is the only man left to choose. And right at the end of the episode, Micah basically starts yelling at Kaz, calling him a liar, saying she felt lied to, and not great.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of taking this remark that Holly made that she and Kaz got really close on their date, and it was a great date. And
Yeah.
Kaz told Micah that apparently that it wasn't all that. And it's like, you lied to me. She literally calls him a liar several times. Doesn't say you might be telling a fib. Literally just calls this man a liar. She says, that is my reality. You are a liar. So not a great thing to do when it's the men's turn to pick to pick for who's going to stay in the house, which is kind of like, I feel like the self-sabotaging and Micah coming out a little bit. So we kind of get this cliffhanger of what is Kaz going to do? Is Kaz going to stick with Micah, or is he going to go with Holly? Seems like Melinda is definitely on the
Yeah,
way
I
out the
think
door.
Melinda's
Yeah,
leaving.
it's a no-go for her,
I
but that's the decision he has to make at this point.
Yeah, so I think he would have been inclined to stick with Micah to try and win the game, but I think after she calls him out like this, he might just pick Holly out of spite.
I'm gonna say that he sticks with Micah. I think just to be
Okay,
contrarian to you,
perfect.
I will say he sticks with Micah just because he might feel like this is Micah's kind of insecurity showing. It's not real. Like he's like, it's okay.
Mhm.
We'll get through this. But who knows? That is for the next batches episodes to
Yes.
figure out. That was episodes 4 through 6 of season 2, the last
Yeah.
little portion of this first batch we were in. I think I'm feeling much better about this season than I was at the end of our 1 through 3 podcast.
Mhm.
So I'm really digging the season. If you had to compare it to season 1, better, worse, about the same so far?
I think it's just, like, a slightly more chaotic, which makes me
Mm,
like it, like, a little bit more. If everyone settles down now and just, like, basically shuts out all new people, that'll be kinda boring, but
yeah.
the preview for the rest of the season looked super intense, so I think it's at least a little bit better, but it was great last season too, like, it's just a fun show.
Yeah, it's a fun, messy show. We do get Nick saying that pretty much everyone is just unleashed into the house.
Mhm.
Everyone into the pool. I don't know what that's about. I think maybe how many more rounds of traditional perfect match do you think we have going until everyone's just like, do whatever you want? And what do you think the mechanic is to? I mean, I can't imagine we're gonna have 20 people in the house
Yeah,
all the time.
I think that the 20 people all being in the house at once is going to be like a mechanic of some sort of challenge, and they'll only be there for a limited
Mhm.
time to try and
So
get between.
I think they want to mix things up, and maybe we'll come out of that with 5 like brands making new couples, just to kind of switch things up, and people will be
Yeah.
mixing and mingling with everyone else. So I think that's just a way to shake things up and see if we can get some new couples going in. Which I mean, for the conceit of the show, I don't know why you want to do that because they're trying to find the one perfect match. I don't know why you would want to keep
Well,
switching it up all the time, but
and that's what they say. They say it's about finding your perfect match and that that's
mhm.
what they want, but it's actually just about chaos, which
Yeah.
is why I love it.
I think the show would say, well, if they're your perfect match, then this shouldn't matter. Like if we threw everyone in
Exactly.
the
Like,
house, like you'll be
oh,
fine.
you can test your perfect match and they will
Yeah.
pass every test.
Yeah. I think it's just a way to inject more mess and more drama into the show, which I am all for. I think you are
Agree.
too, Kirsten. Um,
Yes.
Kirsten, where can the folks find you if they want to keep up with you and what and all the things that you're up to right now?
Yes. So every week, Sasha, Joseph, and myself talk about pop culture, trending topics, celeb gossip over on Mess Magnets. So you can follow that podcast there, as well over on the Hot Dummies on Islands podcast feed, where this podcast lives in addition to the Perfect Match feed. There is some Lovers and Liars coverage coming. Love Island USA season 2 starts this week, and it's just gonna be a lot of hot dummies on islands for the next couple months.
It sounds like
So,
you're up to your neck in hot dummies.
yeah,
Um,
check it out, and you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What. What about you, Jason?
You can catch me as far as podcast appearances. I have a new pod venture called The Good Pod, where me and Marissa Garza talk about the shows of the Good Wife universe. We are right in the beginning of our Good Wife rewatch. So if that's a show that you watched back in the day, come join us as we talk about the show in its first season and beyond. You can also catch me this coming week talking about some other dummies. I don't know if they would be considered hot dummies or not. Some of them I would probably classify as hot. Some others probably not. But 90 Day Fiance, I'll be talking about that show this upcoming week with Puya over on the 90 Day Fiance Rhap. So check me out there if that is also a show that you enjoy. And on Twitter, you can find me at JAYR1085. We'll be back next week talking about episodes 7 through 9 with our second to last drop of this season. Until then, have a great week, great day, have a great night. Goodbye.